Hola, buenos dias. This is the Goofy Guru. And you must pronounce my name with an Indian accent, a bad Indian accent. Goofy Guru. Okay, anyways, my friend Mayan asked me for a reading today. So I did this reading for her, and in the course of giving this reading to her, I realized it was talking to me too. So I believe this message is for the seventh wave, the wave of love. I'm talking about the gospel according to Sting. This reading for all of us. So, Lightworkers reading for Monday, August 11th, 2014. So, the first card that was pulled was Suppression. I don't know about you, but in the last couple of weeks, I've been feeling this buildup, that something huge is trying to release old stories. And these are my old personal stories. But as we know, as is above is below, these are ancient fucking stories that we want to transform. So some of those big ones for me were the whole duality. It's all about duality, recognizing where we are still perpetuating duality thinking, which is the illusion of separation from oneness. So it was shown to me that I still had not so flattering opinions and judgments and prejudices against the rich. And I did a whole video on this, and you can go watch it, look it up on YouTube, about how I came to this aha moment that I still just was hating on the rich, the wealthy, the 1%, the whatever you want to call them, the G8, I don't know, whatever. They've got all kinds of little names. The Illuminati. Yeah, I don't even understand that whole thing, but whatever. I know people are into it, but whatever. So the point is, seeing that how we are withholding abundance from ourselves when we are still hating on the rich, on the wealthy, on Donald Trump, or whoever the bad guy du jour is. When we're still hating on the wealthy and rich, we are not. How can we want something for ourselves? How can we love ourselves and hate on what we want to become? I mean, you guys will figure this out. So that was a big one. Another one, another huge aha ha ha fuck moment for me, is when I got ambushed by A Course of Miracles study class on the true definition of forgiveness. And there's a term they use in the Course of Miracles by Marianne Williamson, who is running for Congress in California. Surely everyone heard that. Anyways, light worker, taking on politics. Thank you very much. Anyways, she mentions forgiveness to destroy, which was a concept I had never heard of. But the second I heard it, I knew I did that shit. And I did it a lot. It is basically forgiving people out of arrogance, and it's like, I forgive you, I see what a fuck up you are, but I'm better than you, and I'm going to forgive you. And I saw clearly how I do that all the time. So that was like, oh my God. But anyways, now that I can see it, it doesn't happen. So I have changed the reality. And this is the Heisenberg uncertainty principle in physics speak. So please, if you speak physics, look up the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, because it explains exactly what I'm talking about. It is the fact that when you have an observer, as soon as you can look, that outside instrument, measuring tool, whatever is added to the observation affects the energy of electrons. Okay, do your homework. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And that shit is right and it applies for everything. So as soon as I could see where I was not really the full definition of forgiveness, and that where I was exactly lacking compassion, it's changed the outcome. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Anyways, so what this is happening to everybody, like old ancient stories with home, father healing, mother healing, sister, brother healing, all of this beautiful. It's starting to surface, and so Please, the message behind this is do not distract yourself with full moon meditation, yoga, zen, bliss out. I'm sorry, but that's the same as pot or alcohol or whatever drugs people are taking. It's escape. So when you feel uncomfortable, know that something is surfacing and it's time. This is your opportunity to let it out. So feel totally into it, whatever that looks like to you. I know you all have your unique methods. Release that shit. Because every person who releases old ancient stories that are no longer serving you or the rest of the world for that matter, then we change the outcomes. So imagine if everyone's doing this at the same time. We are changing global outcomes. So I hope you're watching the Israel-Palestine show right now, because there's going to be a happy fucking ending to that. Okay, next. We've got the mind card. What's going on in the mind? Ripeness. That means we're ready. We're ready. We're ready for real stuff, like the real shit. Like it's been build up, build up, build up. And I mean, if you're doing the astrological stuff or listening to all the channels crying and all that stuff, you know that stuff is happening, and it's happening this month in very, very tangible, visible, watched ways. And yeah, it will be on television. The revolution will be televised. Anyways, the next card, what we're projecting out, which means it's returning back to us, is control. So yes, this is showing us where we still our own control issues. My control issues, I watched myself spontaneously combust over the entire Miami public transportation system. And I realized, oh, I'm trying to control the Miami public transportation system. It's not working on my schedule. I want to be from A to B, and that's control. And so they just fucked with me all night long. And I got the message. I took a taxi. So next, another control issue I saw with myself is I would see it when other people did it to me. I would see when people were killing my joy. This, of course, is not intentional. They're just being themselves, and this is how it plays out. I mean, that's why people show up in your life, is to show you these things about yourself. You're actors, you're co-actors. Like, okay, I will be the shit, I will be the asshole, I will be the whatever for you, so you can see this. But anyways, I saw it being played out with my friends, where I'd want to do something, and then like we're at ecstatic dance, and I could have stayed there all night, but Mayan was not feeling it, and I just I'm not blaming her. I would see how, oh, I want to stay, but because of the situation, whatever. But I saw this playing out so many times, and I couldn't catch it, and then finally I caught it, and this was on Sunday. I withhold myself. I limit myself. I kill my joy. And how did this play out? It was hotter than fuck, and Jeff and I ended up at this very nice marina, posh, sushi, lovely, delicious food, excellent staff, wonderful people at the Rusty Pelican on Key Biscayne, and I wanted to go swimming in that fountain. Like every cell of my fucking body wanted to be in that water, because I was melting, I was dehydrated, had a little bit of hunger, but guess what? I stopped myself. Because it's a nice restaurant. What will people think? And that's when I saw, and then it played out like a couple more times. Like I saw a tree that I really wanted to climb. But truth be told, I had just eaten, so I wasn't feeling like, maybe I could climb that high. But whatever. I saw where I stopped myself. And then I went, oh, I stopped myself from being myself. So I can no longer blame it on anyone else. And that means we cannot blame it on our parents. We cannot blame it on our government. We cannot blame it on our gods. We can only blame ourselves. So I hope you guys heard that one, because it's time to have fun, okay? So the next card is our to-do card. Totality. This card, this is all about, I call this the Cirque du Soleil card. Have you ever noticed that Cirque du Soleil acrobatics is all about timing? If they don't get the timing right, somebody falls, and they don't always have a safety net. So guess what? They don't look at a clock while they're on the, what do you call that thing? I can't even think of it. You know what I'm talking about, the high thing, you climb the trapeze. When they climb up there, they aren't watching their clock to know when to eat, to jump, to sleep, to work. They're not watching their clock. They feel it and they know it. They have communication. They look at each other. Maybe they don't even look at each other. Who knows? Some people probably do it with their eyes closed. Those are masters. But, they feel it and they know the time. That is the sixth sense. When people talk about how do they do it, it's timing, and it is not through verbal communication. There might be some sign language involved, but they communicate in a nonverbal way without the use of a clock. In other words, they are listening to themselves and they are connecting in the fucking air, and if they don't do it, they fall. And trust me, many people didn't make it. So it's all about timing. So just trust the timing of everything. If you don't have what you want right now, that means there's a reason for that, and it's a reason for your best good. So just timing. Also, watch Cirque du Soleil. And then look at that and say, how do they do that without looking at a clock, without communicating verbally with one another? Ask yourself that question. I hope some scientist is studying that. Anyways, next card is your home and healing. This has been healing time for a lot of people. Lots of healing going on, so good job. Then the heart card, clinging to the past. Catch yourself when you're going back into the past relationships. That includes your parents, that includes wound stuff, that includes past life stuff. Don't get stuck in the past lives. I know a lot of people stuck in the past lives. Get out, okay? We're writing a new story. We're co-writing a new story. So anyways, catch yourself when you're going in the past, because just because it happened in the past does not mean it's necessarily going to happen now or in the future. Actually, it's probably not happening right this moment. Anyways, so just catch yourself when you're going there. Make sure you're living in the moment, because when you are living in the moment, the signs are clear and everything is easy and it flows to you and everything just works out. Okay, so then the next card is Mind Spirit, and we got the comparison card. This card is here to remind us that nothing is, and this is duality thinking, all comparison, better, worse, the superlatives. This is better, like which is stronger, the bamboo or the oak? Well, they're both strong. The bamboo, my God, the entire city, all the skyscrapers in Hong Kong are made of bamboo. Did you know that? Don't listen to me. Do your own homework. They're made of bamboo. They are flexible, so they withstand tsunamis and hurricanes and all kinds of crazy weather shit there. Okay. However, the oak in a hurricane gets uprooted. Ask anybody in Florida. That's why we don't have many oaks. Anyways, but at the same time, I can use a machete and cut down a bamboo. I've done it a million times, especially to make bamboo juice. By the way, look up bamboo juice. That's awesome. It's like honey mead. It's great. And it's a natural anesthesia, by the way. So that could be used when you have to do like surgery in the bush or something. Shit, I know. Anyways, next, oak, however, trying to get an oak tree down, as anyone who's tried to get rid of a dead oak tree, is hard as fuck and takes like major energy, machinery, like saws, electric saw machine stuff. So anyways, neither is stronger than the other. Each is strong in their own unique way, just like you are strong in your own unique way, just like you are weak in your own unique way. And this is symbiosis. This is oneness. Okay, and that's why we're all here. There are people that will show up for what your weaknesses are, and everyone, it's a team effort. It's oneness. That's what true integration is about. So this is saying, watch where you're still comparing. An area that I'm seeing a lot of light workers still doing lots of comparing is the old ways versus the new ways, which you know is a generational thing. Right? We see this played out between our little generation wars in human story. So no, it's not about the old way is better or the new way is better. It's about integration. It's about fusion. It's about taking the best of, which I don't know if you notice on my Facebook page, I try to post what I personally feel is the best of models, whether it's in housing, Habitat for Humanity International, whether it's How to Deal with Human Rights, Amnesty International, whatever, whoever, whatever business, whoever, person, individual, idea, theory, I go, I like this. When I'm like, I love this, fuck yeah, bravo. I'm like, yeah, I like that. That is good shit. And guess what? Sometimes it's old stuff, sometimes it's new stuff, but actually all of this stuff is recycled stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So anyways, watch where you're comparing. Every time you're comparing something as better or worse, that is duality thinking. There is no comparison. Everyone is unique. Every animal, everything. So anyways, even microorganisms. Let's give them some yay for germs. Okay. And that can't be a hard job for germs. I mean, sometimes their job is to, balance human nature. And if that makes no sense to you, study plagues. Okay, next, the last card of this particular reading, and oh my God, when I pulled it, both Maya and I were just like, Muppets, because it was integration, because that's what we're talking about. The reason stuff is suppressing is because what we're suppressing are ancient duality mentality, us versus them, Coke versus Pepsi, Democrat versus Republican, Israeli versus Palestine, whatever, cowboy versus Indians, whatever. We're trying to identify all those duality thinking old stories we still have. They are showing up, and as soon as we look at them, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, it changes the outcome, and let go of control, trust the timing. This is a healing time, and all of this is as soon as we can get rid of the last of these duality thinking, us versus them, whatever, good versus bad, Democrat versus Republican. I mean, I could go on and on. It's just reflected everywhere. We are getting closer and closer to oneness, which is integration of old, new, young, old, all of it. Democrat, Republican, Cokesy. I just made that up. Pepsi and Coke. Cokesy. Okay. Anyways, I would love to get feedback, and I am super excited because all of this points to me that we are on the cusp of tangible miracles. They will call them miracles. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.